Welcome to episode 48 of the Heating Up podcast. We are back with an old school episode, just Sarah and myself. We got a lot to cover today. Tottenham recap, Masters recap. We are in the throes of the MLB season, and then we're diving right into the NBA playoffs. Lots of excitement. Sarah and I on a collision course once again, and then we're going to stay hot with our heat check at the end of the episode. So if you want to make some money, you want to laugh a little bit, learn some more about sports, have a good time, stay in your seats, tune in, share with your friends, and here we go.
Hello, friends. I'm Jim Nance, and I'll welcome you to a tradition unlike any other.
He's heating up!
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!
He's on fire! Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational! Boom shakalaka!
Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
There it goes. See ya.
He's heating up!
Trying to get open, fires away.
Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer! Touchdown! Unbelievable!
We got a good one for you today. Welcome to this week's episode of the Heating Up podcast. As I mentioned, it is just Sasha and Sarah today. Mike is out. We miss him. We love him. He will hopefully be back next week. But Sarah, I got to tell you, I missed you. It's good to be back. And as I alluded to, it's episode 48 today because we got episode 47 lost in the bonus episode. But we're going to be putting that out today also. So people, don't worry. We're okay. We're not going anywhere. Sarah and Mike had a wonderful episode while I was out of town, and we just had to get it up. But it will be coming this week. So, Sarah, I missed you. It's good to be back.
We missed you too. We were giving you all the shout outs while you were over across the pond during the last episode. And then we finished up like, wow, it was a good recording. We handled it without Sasha. Look at us. And then the episode went nowhere. That's the big weekend. And like, we can't bother Sasha on his trip. Like, he's clearly thriving right now. We can't do this to him. And here we are. It will be a bonus episode. It'll be fun for the people. We missed you. We'll miss Mike today. It'll be good to have all of us back. But at least now I get to catch up with you a little bit on sports here. You know, Mike and I had some good chats this week. We get to go at it a little bit with some NBA talk. So it's a good one. It's a good one to, have us here. And we'll be back with a full squad next week.
Yes, feel reunited. So I can give everybody a recap now. I made it out alive. I went to the Tottenham Stadium. I was sufficiently nauseous, scared, excited, all of the above. It is a different type of culture out there, I tell you. And I just want to be able to bring that back. Like there's stadiums, you go to Buffalo, you go to a lot of these football stadiums, you go to a lot of these games, and there's, incredible vibes. But there's nothing like getting an email 2 days before for these very expensive tickets you bought saying that, listen, we're happy to have you. And, if you support the other team, that's fine, I guess. But if you cheer for them, or if you wear a shirt that supports them, or if you wear a shirt of their colors at all, you will be asked to leave or not allowed in. So It's like, it is a whole different kind of vibe over there. They do not they have an away section where the away fans can sit that is surrounded by security guards. And there's literally like 10 seats on either side where they just keep empty. So basically it's like Tottenham fans, security, like 5 seats, and then the away section, and then 5 seats, and then a line of security. Like they do not mess around. Separate entrances. They keep everybody totally separate. So it's like there is a whole different level of vitriol between fans in the over there. I think it's just because it is so distilled down. It's the only thing that they care about. So basically it's like, imagine if a Giants fan didn't also have the Knicks, didn't have the Yankees, didn't have whatever other sports they cared about. It's just like they have these games and that's it. And it is just the most exciting, exhilarating, nausea-inducing thing that you can ever be at because it is just completely electric. So luckily, got to go. Spurs won 3-1, and it was perfect. The Spurs scored once to start, and then Nottingham Forest tied it up. So it was a little bit of all the excitement. Then we got to see the away fans going absolutely crazy and just like it's basically 10 seconds of celebrating the goal, and then the rest of it is everybody just looking at the away fans or the away fans looking at the Tottenham fans just being like, fuck you, just flipping each other off, just going ballistic, basically yelling at the other fans. And then Tottenham scored 2 in the second half, and so it was highs, it was lows, and then being able to leave with a 3-1 victory was everything I could have hoped and then some. Stadium was gorgeous. People were nice. People were fun. So I completely loved it. It was very exciting. I recommend it to everybody. We need more fans like that here because it makes it super exciting. And then, unfortunately, it was quickly followed by a 4-0 loss to Newcastle the following week. while I was on the airplane, luckily flying back, so I didn't have to watch it. I literally tried to pay $20 for the internet to watch it on my phone, and just like the internet would not work. My phone wouldn't connect. It wouldn't let me pay for it. So I'm like, whatever, maybe this is a sign. And then we landed, and turns out it was a sign, because that was the worst game that we've played against Ange Postecoglou played under Ange this year. So completely, very, very lucky that I missed that. Just got to catch the highlights. But basically, we have 2 weeks until we play the North London Derby, which is basically Yankees, Red Sox, UNC, Duke, whatever the greatest rivalries in whatever sport you like are. That is what Tottenham versus Arsenal is. And that game will be going on in, I guess, so about a week and a half from today. So we need to show up. We need to show out. And it's huge for us because basically we need the win because we need to try to finish top 4, which would qualify us for Champions League. And we need Arsenal to not win the whole league. So they're kind of, hovering around the top and have a chance to win the whole thing. So we need it to stay alive for one of the top spots. And we also needed to make sure that Arsenal doesn't win. So let me take a deep breath. For all those that don't care about soccer, now you can tune in. But that was very exciting. It was wonderful. I recommend it for everybody. Go watch a game over there. You want to fall in love with the sport, go watch it around those people that care about it, and it's a great fucking time.
I just feel like America would never be that organized to have their fans actually obey those rules and stick to their dedicated area and not have people try and sneak in and then rip off their shirt and just have opposing team apparel like that. That's impressive. Very impressive. I don't see that going well over here, but I kind of love it. I feel like I need to see that now in person. Yeah,
they literally did it. There was a guy that did that with his shirt and got removed promptly. There was a guy who, you sneak in and the guy just, it's just I also think America wouldn't care. It's at the end of the day, it's a business. And over there, it's it obviously is a business, but they do a better job of hiding it. And it feels like it is ran by fans and these people that really do care. It's when the Tottenham was building this stadium, it's $1 billion stadium, state of the art. It's incredible. So I mentioned Arsenal is their big rivals. So basically they need, you need cranes to build anything of that magnitude. The only cranes, I guess, in England were red. They literally had to get new cranes and painted them all blue because they couldn't have Arsenal's colors building their stadium.
That's insane.
So it's just that. Yeah, it's a different level. It's it almost feels like they kind of hide. They at least seem to hide a little bit of the it's a business aspect of it, which is endearing. So, but even Andrea, who doesn't care that much about soccer at all, as soon as you get there, is immediately wrapped up in this is so much fun and this is the best. So it's impossible. It's intoxicating. It's impossible to not fall in love with it a little bit.
I might just have to go across the pond to get into soccer. Maybe that's what it takes.
Count me in. I'm right there with you. But then there is a little bit of an ugly side to it because on the trip to Ireland, I was found this little sports pub in a little town. I think it was Killarney, some little town over there, and was talking to the bartender and was talking. I was like, oh, what good games are going on here this weekend? And he's like, oh, there's a derby in Dublin, and it's that's the team I root for. It's gonna be insane. And I was like, oh, I think we might be in Dublin that day on the way back. I was like, maybe I should get tickets. He's like, oh, mate, I don't think I recommend that. It's it's a 2,000-seat stadium. I was like, what, can I get tickets? He's like, now, last time these two teams played each other, there were 12 random attacks against tourists.
Oh, my God.
It's 12 people in a 2,000-seat stadium is way too close to up percentage.
Yeah.
Those are not good numbers. So, all right, there's certainly, it's got his bad parts, but the passion, unrivaled.
It's there. Wow. It's impressive. It is.
So now moving on. I did not get to watch as much of this as I would have liked. I came back, was able to watch Sunday, but Masters recap. Seems like the Masters was exciting as always. Seems like it's, maybe the end of it wasn't as hotly contested as most people would have hoped. Scottie Scheffler seems inevitable is basically my take.
Yeah, well, Mike and I are going to sound like absolute idiots if anyone actually listens to last week's episode. So I'm going to get ahead of it, putting that out there for everyone. Because I think my heat check for last week was going to be Rory, Jon Rahm, and Brooks Koepka, all top 30. That was my bet for the week. Not great when very few of those guys actually ended up making that at all. And I feel like it was staring at us right in the face that Scottie Scheffler was the answer. And I don't know, we discussed the whole, his wife potentially going to labor, but we knew that really wasn't that was just an excuse everyone was using to not bet against Scottie, like, or bet with, like, for Scottie, because everyone's just like something different. You know what I mean? And it just felt too easy, not exciting. I mean, I like him. I think he's an incredible golfer, obviously, and I think he's here to stay, and I probably will not bet against him ever again for the foreseeable future. But yeah, everything I thought going into this weekend went horribly wrong. I think I'm done with Rory. I just like, I'm over it. I'm so over it. I was saying in last week's episode, like, I just keep waiting because I keep riding with him. And like, one of these times, he's going to do something incredible. Like, he's going to live up to the expectations that we all keep waiting and expecting from him. And I don't know, like, he's getting older and older. Is it mental at this point? I don't know, but I think I have to be done with him for the rest of the year. And then now he's going to go ahead and like win the PGA Championship because that's just how it goes. But I think I have to be done with him.
Now it's like you can't step off it. Now you need to like bet on him every time. Because now it's like as soon as you stop betting him and he wins, you know, are you going to be okay with that? You're going to be like, of course, the one time I don't do it. And then you'll bet on him again forever and he'll never win again.
I know. I kind of like him as a golfer, so I'm like, maybe I should do that for the sake of Rory, though. But then, like, I'm like, well, I've rode this long, so it would hurt. It would hurt if that happened to me, for sure. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think either way, I mean, he's going to have to contest with Scottie Scheffler to get there, and that's no easy feat at this point in time, for sure.
Well, speaking of easy feet, I hate Scottie Scheffler's swing because those are the most uneasy feet I've ever seen in my life. Every time they cut to him to show, it's like, oh, and here's our leader, and then he turns like he's got ice skates on his drive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, he shanked one. It's like, nope, ball tracker is just perfectly exactly where he wants it. None of it makes sense to me. It's so unsettling. I don't get it.
No, I don't understand. I feel like it's bad. Is it bad for golf to have someone with such poor mechanics be good? I feel like golf might, like the real golf, insiders might be start saying that soon.
I love that take.
They're going to be like, this is unorthodox. What are we teaching our children out here? But I mean, I kind of like, for me, it's relatable for me because coming from someone who's like swung a bat, from softball, baseball and stuff, like for me, I do not have very steady feet when I'm golfing. Like that's just a habit that's hard to break. So for me, I'm like, it took me a while to even realize it was wrong. But now like once it's been pointed out to me, I'm like, oh my God, this is atrocious that he's doing that. But that was a natural inclination for me. So I don't get too worked up by it. I think, it's working. So if anyone says he should change it, they're insane because changing something like that could be career altering at this point. So I'm not sure why he would have any reason to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, anybody that says he should change it's an idiot. I just don't like watching it. But it's like if you're winning and you're like the best golfer in the world right now and somebody tells you to change it, they're the stupidest person alive.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100%. So I didn't get to watch too much of this. Honestly, we're in Maine for the weekend visiting friends. So I only got to watch the first and the last day, Sunday, which obviously Sunday is the best day. But something I want to point out, ever since I found out about the bird noises being like audio, I guess it's not cameras, but speakers out on the course, like I hyperfixate on this now. I'm like, oh my God, it's 6:00. The birds are not going that crazy at 6:00. They need to turn the sound off. Like I can't not focus on it. And I felt like this year it was like, I don't know if it was just the times I was watching were later in the evening and like the bird noises, we all know, we all live in homes, where the birds are only going crazy in the morning. There is, or sporadically throughout the day, like passing by, but the constant chirping is just, it's too much. I think it's just taking away, it's distracting me from watching the actual Masters. Yeah,
well, you're like looking up when do these robins and starlings like actually make noise. You're like, that's not what I should be doing on the Masters Sunday. No. It's like I get it; they want to try to cultivate this image, but like you don't lie about it. It's fun because it's like, oh, you can hear the birds when they were actually happening. Like somebody in their media department was like, people like the birds. Let's hammer the birds. Yeah, it gives me like Hunger Games energy. Where I'm just like I don't know, like I don't like the fact that they're trying to like impersonate something in nature, if that makes sense. Like I get what they're trying to do. I understand why they're trying to do it. It's all part of the image, and the experience at Augusta. But like you could let the birds go naturally in the morning. We'll hear it on the replays. I don't know. I just something about it like is a little too sci-fi for me. I completely agree. And I was ready to say this in front of Mike, and he's probably going to hear this and be upset with it. But I don't know if I'm alone and the only person feeling this way about the Masters, but I'm getting very tired of this like gatekeeping nonsense. Like I know it was always a big deal with like, obviously the racial and the sexist stuff, and then they're like, oh, we just Condoleezza Rice is a member. We like blacks and women. It's like, okay. But now it's just everybody with calling them patrons and all these rules and all this. It's like, listen, you're a great golf course, the best, maybe one of the best golf courses in the world. I get it. Would I love to play there? Sure. If anybody's listening, yeah, I'd love it. But I like this culture around it that it's like, oh, if you've seen all the stats of the trillions of dollars they make in the merch store, and you're not allowed to look, you're not allowed to keep your phone on you. You're a golf course. Like, you're getting to, like, everybody's built you up so much that I think you're getting a little ahead of yourself, getting a little out over your skis. But I'm very tired of this gatekeeping. Like, hey, you're a great golf course, but you're a golf course. Stop the 300 members and this. Like, I don't care. And I'm just tired of everybody making such a big deal out of this golf course. And I feel like I'm in the minority here. And I feel like I'm like, because the people that are just like, they don't let any into the view it from this, like, oh, it's this elitist thing. It's like, whatever. Golf seems to always have this aura of elitism, and I don't care. It's at the end of the day, it's a sport. It's a fun sport. I like playing it. But the Masters is just like the elite of the elite of the elite, and I'm just so tired of everybody sucking it off. Pimento cheese is fine. I don't care that you sell your sandwiches for $2. Who gives a shit? Like, that doesn't make you relatable and cool, and it doesn't make your stupid sandwiches good. They're not good. I promise you, they're not good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely would have to agree. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like the exclusivity of it is just every year they feel like they have to take it to a next level to like build it and hype it up, because it's just like every year, right? Everyone expects more and more. So it's just like this snowballing effect where it's just gotten like out of hand at this point. Like, I think the Masters is an event that no matter what they do, it's going to be really freaking cool if you can go to it. Like, the whole lotto system to get in, that in itself, like, I understand they can only have limited amounts, right? So if they continue to do that, like, that in itself is going to keep it being an exclusive, event where people are going to, obviously the demand is there, right? It's like a business strategy, but I don't think they have to like keep, selling it as such by doing all these other ridiculous, promotions and rules and such like that. Like, I think that alone, the fact that you have to lotto into it and you can't just buy your way in, I think that makes it, an exclusive event. I feel like they could just stick with that.
Yeah, I feel like they've jumped the shark a little bit. Like, they've gone too crazy. It's just, it's too much now. And I don't know, it's losing the luster for me with how far they've gone. It's like, it was really cool, really cool, really cool. And then it's like, now they're trying to go here. And it's like, no, I'm actually completely out on that now.
Yeah. Like, just keep it as it is. A tradition like any other. Let's keep this tradition, not it's evolving sort of, rarity they're making it into.
Yes. Amen. And then the only other thing is, like, I've heard that going back to Scottie Scheffler. How was that guy 27?
I know.
How many guesses would you have of that guy's age before you got to 27? I think I would have guessed all the way through the 30s and 40s before I went to 27.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked old before he grew the beard, and with the beard, it added like another 20 years. Like, it's like, it's shocking, and it's just like, I can't help but look at him and think like he's someone I would just see in the streets if I didn't obviously like watch golf, if I was just a novice, and you would never think absolutely anything. Like, I would just write him off as this middle-aged man. If you even saw him on the golf course, not playing, just like in the clubhouse, let's say, like, I would just be writing him off as this, average middle-aged man. Like, he's just so unassuming, looks so much older than he really is, very seemingly mild-mannered, and he's just like someone who probably blends so well into the crowd, which is probably good for him, but it's crazy. 27, insane.
Not a bad way to like win $12 million doing like a very public sport and still have nobody recognize you is probably not the worst thing. But I just like, if I saw him on the golf course, I'd be like, oh, that guy's like 56 and he's just got such a sad face, and like, he looks so sad. He's probably got like 2 kids in college that hate him, and it's like, oh no, he is 27 years old.
Crazy.
But then it's like, he was born in Jersey, but grew up in Texas. And I always just feel like, like a 25 or 26 in the South is so different than like a 25 or 26 in New York City. Like, in New York City, that 25 or 26-year-old is like getting hammered and doing cocaine 8 days a week and like doesn't have a care in the world, working a trillion hours. But then like a 26-year-old in like the middle of North Carolina has 3 kids and like has a career and has been married and divorced and then married again. So it's just like just those different parts of the world.
True.
Like, 27 is not 27 everywhere.
No, that is a good point for sure.
So. Like, he aged like yogurt, but whatever. Who cares? Good for him. Best golfer in the world. Fun to see where he goes for the rest of the year. But now moving on, got to talk a little baseball. Missed a bunch of it. Yankees are still good, so I'm always down to still talk baseball. Ever since I came back, they have slid a little bit, like 2 straight losses. But grand scheme of things, they just lost their first series. It's like they won their first 5, so whatever. You lost a couple games to the Blue Jays. LeMahieu's still hurt and Aaron Judge is still playing terrible. So, like, if Aaron Judge is playing bad and we're still like have this good of a record and just lost our first series, I'm okay. It's hard not, you always get emotional at the beginning of the season, but it's I try to keep it relaxed, but it's like I for some reason more than any other sport, baseball still brings me back to just like being a kid and like standing in front of the TV and like getting so mad when like Carlos Delgado would get a hit against the Yankees and like almost wanting to like cry and go into my room.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of that, but whatever. Yankees are going to be good, and I love Juan Soto.
Yeah, I'm still like I'm like dipping the toes into baseball a little bit because NBA playoffs, which we're about to get to, obviously are picking up. So I have to go all in on that to make up for the NBA I have not watched in the past few months. But I'm tracking along. I mean, the Orioles, I'm definitely looking forward to getting into watching them a little bit more this year because everything I'm gathering, kind of just following, obviously, their games and their record. And I think they're sitting at the top of the AL East at this recording time. Both them and the Yankees are 12-6. So they're a fun team to watch. I mean, they can never be counted out of a game. They were down, quite a bit late in a few games against the Red Sox, came back, took care of, they're taking care of business, I guess. Like, they're a young, fun team, fun to watch. I feel like that electricity of just the young guys is what makes them, they, like I said, they can never be counted out. So you find yourself watching deep into a game that might not have otherwise been good, especially for a passive Orioles team. But it's so early for me in baseball. So I keep following along in the records, maybe after NBA playoffs get into it. But I'm excited to have a team that, is fun, less stressful to root for, less depressing, and will be around come playoffs.
Yeah, and it's it's almost like the opposite of like your Cowboys, where it's like the expectations are always high, and it's like it feels like you can only go down. It's like the Orioles; it always just feels like you're playing on borrowed time. It's like, wow, these guys are like actually good now, and they're young and they're fun. I mean, it's going to be a tough division. The Red Sox in last place, I think we can both agree, will always make us happy. And then the Astros being 6-14 and having like I think the second worst record in the American League. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, love it. No.
I guess shout out also, I don't know if I want to walk this back or not, but Shohei, I don't know if you guys talked about this on the last episode, on the bonus episodes coming out. Shohei maybe actually just got $14 million robbed from him and didn't know it was happening. I'm still not convinced he didn't place a significant amount of bets, but who knows what's going on.
We did. We compared, for those who are thinking about not listening to it, you should check it out because we were comparing Mike's bets to Shohei's interpreter, whose name we still could not pronounce despite the fact he's been in the news, and we were like, what's that guy's name again? It's great podcasting, but yeah, we had some good comparisons there, but I'm still not buying the whole thing, but it seems like it's going to work out how baseball wants it to, exactly with, no bets were placed on baseball, Shohei's cleared, let's move on from this, under the rug sort of thing from here.
And whatever, we got NBA playoffs to focus on. We'll see. We'll shake the rug out after that. After the next month and a half of all the NBA playoffs and see where everybody stands.
Yeah, sounds fair enough.
But Sarah, I got to tell you, I've been holding on to this whole episode. I hate that you made me do this podcast because ever since we started this, you've just ripped my goddamn soul out, and we're just on a collision course to do it again. The Knicks finished with the number 2 seed. I would have never guessed in the beginning. I was like, whatever, we'll sneak. I was like, maybe we can get to the 4 seed. I would love if we could get to the 4 seed, or But I thought there was a very realistic possibility we could be 5-6, or like at the very worst case, like be in this play-in tournament. The Knicks finished with the 2nd seed in the East, and then we are somehow either going to have to play your Heat with Jimmy Butler, reminiscent of last year, or we're going to have to now play like a healthy 76ers who like don't really lose with Embiid and Maxey both healthy. And if they are healthy, like I don't want to play either of those teams. Like, how did this end up like this? What did I do wrong to you where we start this podcast and we're just on a collision course for you to just crush me again?
I honestly don't know, but I do want to say for those not watching on YouTube, I'm wearing my Jimmy Bucket shirt.
Get out of here. Rude.
From last year. I'm hoping for a big performance, obviously, from the Heat. But, I mean, I can't say I don't blame you because that's a tough draw for a Knicks fan. You have every right to be pissed about it because either way you look at it, definitely the most difficult matchup, coming out of the side of the bracket, I think, for sure. And I still think I'm worried about the Heat this year. I don't know if they have that same energy, underdog, I guess underdog mentality you want to call it. They're not really an underdog, though, because they always overperform. But based on their seeding, I guess they technically are. And I feel like they've lost a little bit of that fire. I think Heat culture It's not what it used to be. Maybe this is me just preparing myself for them to just, be down and out early, which again happened last year and they still fought their way back. But I don't know. I just feel like the way they've been playing lately just doesn't give me, I'm worried about who's going to be able to step up if Jimmy Butler, I can't not call him Jimmy Buckets, so I'm stuttering over it. Jimmy Butler, if he cannot, come up and put up 30-plus point game, stay healthy, the biggest thing. Obviously, every year that becomes an increasing risk for him. So if they're able to come out of this, and even go on to defeat the Knicks, I feel like they don't go anywhere past that. And, because I feel like they just don't have it this year to make that big push. So I kind of am almost hoping that the Knicks win. I don't think so, but.
No, you're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to keep your expectations low. My expectations are through the roof. With the second seed, Jalen Brunson's amazing. I'm now actually a firm believer that we are I've always been saying this, but we are definitely a better team without Randall. He's not coming back. This is the team we've got. We've got the pieces. I don't know how far we make it. I don't think we're the best team, but I think that we are hot, and I think Jalen Brunson's amazing. And you're not allowed – now that my hopes are high, you're not allowed to come in and be like, oh, I don't even really expect us to do anything, because that's just going to hurt even more when Jimmy Butler comes out and beats us like 4-1 because Jimmy Butler scores 70 points a game and Caleb Martin turns into like this incredible shooter and Tyler Hero can't miss a shot and Spoelstra's the greatest coach since fucking Phil Jackson. You're not allowed to do this to me yet.
I know. I'll refrain from anything further on that. I mean, I don't know. I think first off, I'm still like wrapping my head around the whole playing game picture. Like every time I have to have the whole bracket in front of me, because every single time they have made it so confusing now. It's just like, can we just have a wild card? Like, just a natural like wild card game. This whole win, lose, you're so like it's not really playoff energy to lose, a series and then you're still in, from there. But I think it benefits obviously in Team with the Heat's favor. If they can just have let's say they have one bad night, then Jimmy's able to come back. That's how I see them getting through from there. But all I'm really hoping for from this playoffs is I do not want the Boston Celtics to win the championship. So we need someone to stop them. I think Denver is probably our biggest, I think that's what most people probably feel. Be their biggest opponent, but whoever it takes to beat the Celtics, that's what I'll probably end up rooting for in the end.
We can unite on that front for sure. So I don't know. Honestly, I guess now that I'm really thinking about it and taking a deep breath, I think I'm rooting for the Heat tonight, because I think there's a better chance of the Knicks beating the Heat in the series than the Celtics, because then the Sixers. I'm sorry, because it's just like if Embiid is healthy, we don't have the bodies to be able to stop him, and Maxi's really good, so I'm really worried about both of those. So maybe we can unite also on rooting for the Heat tonight, but then I'm just going to feel so dirty about it anyway. I'm going to feel disgusting. I just want them both I want them both to play terrible. I want it to be like a 76-74 game where they both play horrible, and you don't root for injuries, but maybe they just both forget how to shoot or something. Maybe the Monstars steal their power or something. Whatever I can root for. But I don't know where we make it from there, because it's just looking at this murderer's row. I get that Giannis may not be healthy, but it's just like there's just so many good teams left. Like having to play the Bucks. And then Celtics are obviously just a wagon. I mean, I need them to falter before. If I have real expectations of this team, like trying to make it to the finals, we were 1-4 against the Celtics this year, and like they looked great. The only one game we beat the Celtics was like at the end of the season when they really didn't need it. They had the 1 seed locked up, and like we, did need it, I guess, for seeding. But whatever. I'll pretend we're hot against them. We're 1-1 we're 1-0 in our last one against the Celtics. So whatever. I'm all in. Just I'm not going to be happy if you pretend like you don't care and then you just get to stomp on my grave again, because this keeps happening and I don't like it.
I know. Well, I have to say, I'm feeling a little pulled to put some allegiance towards the Thunder. Because, like I've alluded to on the podcast, my brother Chad has been a long-time fan dating back to the Kevin Durant days, Russell Westbrook, and then the perpetual tanking over the past few years. That ultimately got them into this very great position, and they will be very good for many years to come, I think, which is still continued good draft capital. I feel like I hope they make a good push. I feel very stereotypical in saying that they do seem a little young for this. I do feel like with how lengthy the NBA playoffs can be, I do think that age and experience is important. Not too much age is not good, because it's a long not season, long playoff push. So it's hard for the guys, obviously, who are older and can't hold their bodies up through that. But like a good amount of experience, I think, is needed to just navigate these playoffs well. And just the consistency that comes with that. So I don't feel like it's their year. I don't see them, if they were come down to beat the Celtics in the title game by any means. And Denver's going to be a tough feat to come out of that region or that division regardless. But that's what I'm pushing for. So we'll see. I'm not trying to tell you I don't care about the Heat. I do. I very much do. But I definitely will be having two teams I think that I will be pushing, rooting through here.
I like that. And we're going to have to get Chad on if the Thunder make a serious push here.
Yes.
We're going to need his official breakdown. So I love it. I'm excited. Playoff basketball is the best. Everybody's trying. Defense is good. Scoring's great. Vibes are high. Everybody cares. It's the best. We're coming up on one of the best times of the basketball year because I really don't care too much about hockey. Obviously, we've been on the sports podcast for like a year now, and we've never really talked hockey. But playoff hockey is one of the best things to watch also. So those days going back and forth between playoff basketball, playoff hockey, got that, and then baseball sprinkled in. Coming up on one of the best times in the sports calendar.
No, we're guaranteed to have like a very solid, good, like almost 2 months really at this point with how long the NBA playoffs and hockey playoffs go on. So we might have to I feel like hockey, I just feel like an idiot talking about because I really do, I don't know anyone's names. They're hard to pronounce. It's a good setup to sound like an idiot if you really don't watch it.
Yeah.
But I feel like we might have to dabble in it a little bit, because playoff games are fun. I feel like anyone can just turn on and play game and get into it instantly because it's pretty easy to follow on a superficial level.
100%. Fast paced, scoring, exciting, people care. So maybe we'll get somebody hockey insider on. Somebody knows a little bit, can give us a breakdown what to expect for the playoffs coming up.
That's a good idea. I think we need it. I don't think we'll accept Mike trying to tell us that he knows.
But now moving on, we got to stay hot with Heat Check. We got to put the bets out there and make a little bit of money because I'm feeling good going into these NBA playoffs. So Sarah, I want you to take it away. What are you feeling coming up? Are you taking NBA playoffs? You're going to dabble in some Chinese basketball? You feeling baseball? What are you feeling this week to make our people some money?
I'm going playoffs for sure. I was toying around. I feel like it's a little, first off, I do want to try and do tonight because I feel like it might be too soon depending upon when people are listening to this. But I think as of now, I'm going to go with the Pelicans -1 over the Kings tomorrow. At the time of recording.
Before you lock it in officially, I did see just before this, Zion Williamson is officially out for the game. So I do want to give you that. I do want to give you a caveat in case you want to change. I'm trying to sign in right now and see how much.
I forgot about his little bizarre hamstring injury situation, right?
Yeah.
So last time when I looked this morning, it did not say that he was out for sure.
Was just before, I think it was about an hour ago, an hour before recording, he has officially been ruled out. So I want to give you a chance here in case you want to make a change.
Okay, please hold. Please hold. You can. I'm not gonna make everyone stand here and listen because I think I will change that because Zion. I mean, he was the team yesterday, or at time of recording yesterday. So I feel like that could be a big loss.
I'm seeing New Orleans +1.5 now. You can take a second to think about that if you want. I can go for mine.
You go.
All right, so I am not as confident in any of these play-in games. I don't like them. I don't want to bet on any of these teams in the East because the Knicks could end up playing one of them. So I don't want any positive vibes going towards any of those teams. So I am looking in to the first round, and the line that jumps out to me is the Timberwolves are only -2 against the Suns. I am not a believer in the Suns. I think the Suns get a tremendous amount of bias because of Booker, because of KD. Understood. They're great players. But as a team, the Timberwolves are significantly better. Anthony Edwards is amazing. They got the two big guys that I don't think anybody really loves too much, with Gobert and Cat. But at the end of the day, they're still incredible players, and that team is much, much better. So I think 2 points is nowhere near enough. So I am going to hammer Timberwolves -2 in the first game of the first round.
Okay, I like that. Let's see. I'm trying to reassess my stance here on this. I think if people are listening to it tonight, I'm going to give a bonus one of the Heat 76ers under 207.5.
Ooh, I like that. Defensive battle. I can see that.
Yep, defensive battle, kind of just coming out a little bit, not rusty per se, but just first round of the playoffs or playing picture. I feel like things can take a slow start from there. So I feel like they're in no rush. You know what I mean? Like teams like to play slow a little bit down when you're on the beginning of this big road, ahead of you if you win, obviously. So that's my bonus. And then I think I will go for the first round. I'm going to go with the Denver Nuggets -6.5 over the Lakers.
Love it.
I feel like they're just going to come out, assert themselves, take care of business. That's it. No questions asked.
I think I guess next week will probably be too late for this. I forget when the first game starts. We'll see but I also love, I know it happened last year. I want to find a way to bet for the Nuggets to sweep the Lakers again. I think the Nuggets are just so much better. They swept the Lakers last year in the first round, or it was first or second round, whenever they played each other. They swept them. I think that the Nuggets will sweep them again. So I feel like you might be able to get some decent odds on the Nuggets doing that. So I like that one.
No, that's good. So it's fun. It's exciting. It's good to have stuff, to look forward to watching. Like really, honestly, the NBA playoffs were what got me really into DraftKings 2 years ago from here. So it might be my betting anniversary of, as you all know, betting responsibly, very responsibly over here, cents to dollars on here. But I'm excited. I think it's fun. Good way to get in, and it's just like, I don't know. I love, nothing is better than just like doing some player combo bets and stuff like that. So it's good. I think maybe we'll branch out a little bit for the Heat Check next, in the coming weeks and try and give some more fun bets for people. But we want to hear what you guys are doing too. So let us know if anyone has any good picks for the playoffs ahead. Put them in the comments of the show or Instagram or something like that.
Share your bet slips. I love it. And I now that the playoffs are, I think we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary here. So we're gonna have to do something special and do some sort of live episode, get us all together, and maybe do something a little bit fun. So we'll put that one in the till. But like Sarah said, share your bets, anything you got coming. And as always, don't forget to just share with your friends, listen on all platforms, comment, like, subscribe. The subscriptions really help us as well. So we're having a good time doing this. We're very glad you guys are listening. We love you. We miss you. And we will talk to you next week.